Hey everyone, how's it going? I just wanted to talk about a movie that's been talked about quite a bit lately. Lots of write-ups about it, lots of reviews on it, lots of opinions. Definitely an opinion driver. The movie is a Serbian film. It's made the rounds in some of the film festivals in the United States, but has yet to see a release date as far as like a DVD or a large theatrical release, which I don't think it's going to see. Not a theatrical release anyway, maybe a DVD release. And if it does get released on DVD, I'm going to be curious to see if it gets through as is, or if it's going to suffer a lot of cuts, which I think it might, just because a lot of the subject matter is really over the line for a lot of people. If you haven't seen a Serbian film and you have plans to see it just because of, say, morbid curiosity, or maybe you just want to see something way different than what you're used to seeing, that's fine. That's well and good. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to discuss some of the more blatantly horrific scenes. So if you don't want the movie ruined, this is your spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Sorry about that. Shut the video off now. You won't hurt my feelings in the least. But if you want to stick around and hear what this movie's about, or hear what some of the things are that people are talking about, then I will do that here. And you'll see why it's getting the rep that it's getting with a lot of people. So again, if you don't want the movie ruined for you, this is your spoiler alert. Shut off the video now. Don't listen to it anymore. Watch something else. Check out the DVD update, or Absolute Sublime, or any of the many other great DVD videos that are out there, and switch this one off. And ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's get this ball rolling. Ball on the road. I don't know where that was coming from. But yeah, if you're still with me, here we go. Serbian film. If you haven't read any of the plot, only heard little stories here and there from different people, the plot is basically about a down-and-out retired porn actor who's commissioned to do another film, and needing the money, he does it. The director of this movie he says that he creates art, which what filmmaker doesn't, right? But his stuff is so extreme and so over the line that this guy really doesn't know what he's getting himself into. The director's build on the movie is being insane, and you see that he really is. He is quite insane. Here's some of the scenes that are in there. Some of the more, I guess, to us would be considered the tame scenes, the ones that people stop. That wasn't so bad. That's nothing. Those are usually like on par with movies like Hostel, which I hear a lot of people telling me Hostel was boring, or Hostel didn't do anything for me, or Hostel. These are people that say that like they're looking for something more. But then if they see a Serbian film, then they're offended. And there is no spot that I know of that falls between a Serbian film and Hostel. There's no gray area there. Like, this is a little more than Hostel, and this isn't quite as bad as a Serbian film. If you hear of such a movie, please let me know, because I'd like to recommend that to a few people. But a couple of the tamer scenes of a Serbian film. There's a scene where he's given a drug which makes him like a sex maniac, where he craves sex so much he's just out of his mind, insane, super horny, if you want to go that route. And there's a woman chained to a bed, and he starts to have intercourse with her. He has sex with her, and he's behind her having sex with her, and as he's having sex with her, he starts punching her, like hitting her in the back, punching her, beating on her. and they keep telling him, they keep egging him on, hit her harder, hit her harder. Well, eventually he's handed a machete, and he chops her in the neck with it and severs her head while he's having sex with her. And after her head is removed from her body, he continues to have sex with her because he's so driven to have sex because of that drug that they gave him. That's one scene, and it's one of the more tamer scenes. Those are actually that's one of the scenes I think will actually make it onto the DVD if it gets released here in the United States. Okay. Another scene, he's having a fight with one of the stage hands, fighting his way out of a situation that he's in, and he's on this drug again, so he wants to have sex with anything and everything that moves. Like Eddie Murphy said, the fish stops swimming when he walks into the room. Seriously, he just wants to have sex with everything. And he fights this guy, and he rips off an eye patch, and you can see the guy's missing an eye. Well, that becomes his target. He literally plows into his eyeball with his member. You know what I'm saying? Right. And he kills him that way. And there's another scene where a woman is suffocated, giving oral sex. It's forced down her throat, and they're holding her nose, and she suffocates. So those are just some of the scenes that would probably make people go, "Oh, that was bad," or "Oh, I can't believe they showed that." But those are the tamer scenes. Those are the ones that they probably will get away with releasing it here. Here's the ones they won't get away with. And again, if you don't want it ruined, turn off the video, go watch something else. If you don't want to hear what I'm about to say, turn off the video, go watch something else. Third warning, I'm about to get into some deep stuff here that's in the movie. I'm going to be giving away probably the ending of the movie. I'm pretty sure I'm going to tell what happens at the end of this movie. Don't want it ruined, turn off the video, watch something else. Okay? Alright, if you're still with me, here we go. In one scene, he's led into a room, and he's on this drug, the super horny drug. I don't know what they call it, I forgot what they called it. And there's two bodies, one of a full-grown adult female and one of a smaller person, a child. They don't hide the fact that it's a child. And he starts having sex with the woman, just violently. He looks like a madman. And he keeps looking over at the other body, but the bodies are covered from the waist up. Everything from the waist up is covered. So the only thing exposed is the bottom half. He starts having sex with the woman. He keeps looking over at this smaller person, and he switches and has sex with the smaller person violently. And another person comes in and has sex with the woman while he's having sex. So there's like kind of a race between these two guys. It gets really graphic. As far as, they don't show penetration, of course, but there's blood flowing because he's anally, pretty much anally raping the child. Sorry about my throat. Yeah. Well, while he's doing that, the director uncovers the bodies and finds out that it's his wife and his son. And he goes maniacal. He goes berserk. So that was a bad one there. And the scene that it ends on was kind of just a sour note. They don't show anything at all. But the ending was such a sour note, and I think I'm just going to leave that off of here. I won't ruin the ending. I hate when people do that to me. So even if you're still listening to the video, and I appreciate you listening to the video, the ending, I'll keep it, it's not graphic, it doesn't show anything, but it leaves you with that image in your head. And your mind has pretty much been mushed up pretty bad by the end of the movie. So that final icing on the cake, if you will, or that final exclamation mark at the end of the movie, just makes you kind of reel back a little bit and go, oh my God, it could have gotten maybe a little worse. They could have actually crossed one more line. Which at that point I couldn't believe they could have. But there is a way. There's always a way. And somebody will cross that line eventually. The things that you see in this movie, you probably would have never thought you'd see it in a studio released film. but they do it. Somebody said we're going to release it, and they released it as is, and it was hard to believe that they did that. Now here's the scene, the big scene that everybody talks about whenever the movie Serbian Film comes up, and it is the birthing scene. The porn star is brought into a room, and he's shown some of the director's earlier work, and they're showing him a film, and the film that they're showing him is a lady laying on her back. She's pregnant, and there's a guy standing there with a mask and underwear. That's all he's wearing, and they have a up-close shot of her vag as she's giving birth. She starts crowning, and the guy starts pulling the baby out and births the baby, and I believe he spanks it, makes it start crying, get it awake. The lady's all out of breath, she's sweaty, there's blood, gore, and he gives birth to the baby. At this point, the guy's watching the movie, and the next scene you see, the guy who just pulled the baby out of her starts lowering his underwear, and he has sex with the newborn baby. So that was the big one for me. That was the line where I was kind of like, I don't believe I'm seeing this. And once you see something like that, you can't unsee it. The baby that's in the scene is animatronic. Let me just say that right now. It's animatronic. It's a rubber baby. You can tell it's a rubber baby. Dead rubber babies are used on the Guar stage during their concerts. Dead rubber 8-year-olds, as he says. I don't know if it's for shock value, because it was pretty shocking. And but he says it was, the director of this movie says that it's, the actual Serbian film, not the porno director. He says it's supposed to be a message about the torture that the Serbian people have suffered at the hands of their government for years and years and years. And if so, that, I don't know how you connect the two, baby raping and a government keeping its people down. I didn't make that connection. All I know is I saw some really effed up stuff, and I was kind of like, I can't unsee that. I was actually kind of apologetic for watching it. Will I ever watch it again? Probably in the right company. People who want to see it, I'd probably watch it with them. But it's not anything that I wouldn't call it. I can't call it pornographic, because to me, pornography is something that excites. It for lack of a better term, it turns me on. Okay, this did not. It was highly raw. It was a shock to the system. But it sounds weird, but I kind of admire the guy for having the guts to throw that in his movie, because it's a strong message. It's a strong image. It's a very, very strong. It will not be ignored. I guarantee you that. It's not going to be ignored, and it'll be something people will be talking about forever until somebody crosses another line.